Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is on the topic of the ancient history, and in our last video we discussed about the Vedic civilization, and in today's video I will be covering the Mahajanpads, Jainism and the Buddhism part. And tomorrow I will be making another video on the pre-Mauryan, post-Mauryan and the period. Earlier I was planning to make a single video covering all these topics, but it would have taken me around an hour or more than that. So that would be a task to make that long video. So instead of that, I'm planning to make a video on topic wise. So I think there will be 3 videos covering all these portions. So in today's video I'll be covering Mahajanpad, Jainism and the Buddhism part, and I hope this won't take much time, around 15 or 20 minutes, but the remaining parts are a lengthy one because they have pretty good details, so it would take me time to cover all that aspects. So yes, I will be covering all those portions in the next videos. So but in today's video, these 3 portions only. And fortunately I have covered my ancient history portion. So it took me long to cover the ancient history. So finally I decided to put an end to it, made the notes, completed the notes of the ancient history, and most probably after making all 3 videos of this ancient history, remaining 3 videos, I'll start with medieval. Let's see whether it will be tomorrow or day after tomorrow, but I'll try to start it tomorrow only. I'm sure, I hope the videos shouldn't take much time for the remaining portions. So let's start with today's video. Okay guys, so in the last video we covered about the Vedic civilization. There we covered, and under that we focused on that Rigved, the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. In the later Vedic period we had the remaining 3 Vedas, the Yajurved, Samved, Yajurved and Atharved. So coming to the Mahajanpad portion. So in later Vedic period, the various tribes started to setting up, and they started making settlements, and in a larger group. Earlier they were living together, but they were on a small clans. We call them Jana, right? So they were on a small. There was one more name too. There was Jana. Early Vedic period. Yeah, we used to call them, the families were clan and the group of family were called Jana. Yeah. So earlier were small Janas, okay, but during the later Vedic period, the more and more people, the population has begun to grow. They started living together, and from there the term came the Mahajanpads. Earlier they were Janas, now they were Janpads, Mahajanpads. So they were kind of big states. They were really big in size as compared to Jana. Jana was only few couple of families living together, but in the Mahajanpads, the entire village, the group of villages formed a Mahajanpad, single Mahajanpad, and maybe more than that. So let's say one Mahajanpad is like a state. So during that period, 16 Mahajanpads were formed, several different defense, and mainly were monarchical. Monarchical means the king used to rule over them, but some were oligarchic as well, and the term was Gnan Sangh, or you can say Gaon Ka Sangh. And what is oligarchy? In oligarchy, the few of the peoples have the rights to administer the area, whereas in monarchy the king rules, but in oligarchy certain people have the power to control the state. Okay, and at that time silver and coppers were used. Let me mark them simultaneously so that I won't forget later on. It would be easy for me during the revision time as well. And at that time there were certain designations. So there was Amatya as well. Amatya is a Mahamantri, or it can also be referred as a high official, like administrative officer, IAS, kind of IAS of that time. and there were 16 Mahajanpads, as I told you, and few of the famous were like Magad. Magads, as I'll be making further videos around the ancient history, you will get to see that the Magad has played a vital role in the ancient history part during pre-Mauryan and post-Mauryan, and even in the Gupta period. Because if you will see that, the entire the king period which has started, that is the pre-Mauryan period, has all started from the Magad, and Magad was basically the today's current Bihar state. So the Magad empire started from the Bihar state to today's Bihar state, and it was spread all over to the west, to the entire west and to the entire east, and even it was spread to the south of the India. And there will be a time when the Magad empire covered the entire India, and even more than that, to the Afghanistan. So Magad has played a vital role. So the 16 Mahajanpads include Gandhar, which was in the Afghanistan area, Gandhar, Magad, Koshala, Matsya, Avanti, and they were like, just like these, they were 16, total 16, and the capital of Magad was Rajgriha. Because I'm just stating because this will be very common in the coming videos, the Rajgriha word, when the kings will start to appear in the picture. Okay, so the Mahajanpads part was only this much. There were 16 Mahajanpads, and most of them were the monarchical, and a few of them used to practice the oligarchic or the Gnan Sangh. Okay, and there were coppers and silver were begun to use. Okay, and now that's it about the Mahajanpad. Now the Jainism part comes. As we know that the Vedic civilization ranged from 1500 BC to 600 BC. Now the Jainism part starts from 600 BC. Mahajanpad was part of later Vedic period only. Now in Jainism began around 600 BC, and let me give you a brief about why the Jainism and the Buddhism came up in the picture. As you all remember that during the later Vedic period, the Kshatriya and the Brahmins started to dominate the societies, right? But in the extreme later Vedic period, around the end of the Vedic period, complete end of the Vedic period, even the Kshatriyas started feeling that the Brahmins are using them. Okay, they felt that they go on a war, but whereas the Brahmins are just using them to gain more wealth and to be on the ruling part, because they were kind of ruling only. So the remaining the remaining three oppressed part of the Varna system, the Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, they felt dejected, and to that they decided to form a different religious system, so that they can focus, instead of giving more priority to the Brahmins, they can worship something else, and where there isn't any Brahmin or any Varna system. So during that, so as a result, Jainism and Buddhism were formed, and there, along with these Jainism and Buddhism, various other streams were created, but they weren't that popular as compared to Jainism and Buddhism, and they didn't even last that long. So the support the people mainly supported the Jainism and Buddhism, and even the king supported it a lot. The Vaishya supported it a lot. They gave money to create the dharamshalas, ashram for the Buddhism and Jainism, Jaini monks. So yes, this was the reason why the Jainism and the Buddhism came into the picture. And during the 600 BC, Jainism was formed, and the priests were called Tirthankar, and the first Tirthankar was Rishabhnath, and the 23rd was Parshabnath. They weren't that they weren't that much important as compared to the 24th ruler, 24th Tirthankar, which is the last Tirthankar. Even today, mm, there weren't any Tirthankar after the 24th. 24th was the last one, and the 24th is the only main when it comes to Jainism, and that is Vardhaman Mahavir. Vardhaman Mahavir, which we have all seen in the picture. That is the picture of Vardhaman Mahavir, and he was the 24th Tirthankar of the Jainism, and the main one. And he was the Kshatri. Okay, he belonged to Kshatri. We don't know about the past Tirthankar whether they were Kshatri or not, but the Vardhaman Mahavir, the 24th Tirthankar, was a Kshatri, and he was born in 540 BC in Kundargram. It was near Vaishali. Vaishali was a different Mahajanpad, and again in the current modern Bihar. Okay, and his father name was Siddharth. He was the head of Jantrika clan. They were Kshatriya, so he was a chief of a Jantrika clan, not a big portion, but he was a leader, head of a clan. So yes, they were kind of bit, maybe we can say they were affluent, but weren't that much. But yes, he was from a well-off family as compared to that time, because his father was head, and his mother name was Trishla, and Trishla was the sister of chief of Lichavi. Lichavi was a place in the current Nepal, and his brother was the chief of Lichavi area. So her mother's side was also well off, and his brother name was Chetak. Okay, and Chetak's daughter married to the Bimbisar. In the coming video, you will get to know about Bimbisar. He was a great ruler of pre-Mauryan Empire. So the Trishla's brother was Chetak, who was the chief of Lichavi clan not a clan, it's a Lichavi, the entire area in Nepal, and he married, and he made his daughter, not made, maybe he just, I don't know what, he engaged his daughter to the Bimbisar. Okay, and his brother was Nandivardhan, and the wife of Mahavir, name of Mahavir's wife was Yashoda. His daughter name was Annoja Priyadarshani, and later she made his daughter married to his first disciple, whose name was Jamali, and he gave up. He renounced everything at the age of 30, and his austerity place where he did all his meditation was Jarambhik village in Rajupalika river. There is a Jarambhik village, and in Jarambhik village there is a Rajupalika river. Under sal tree he did all his meditation, and his first follower was Jamali, and to whom his daughter married, Jamali. And the one fascinating thing is, at that time the elite class people used to speak Sanskrit language, but he preferred to speak Prakrit just to promote the mediocrity, we can say, not to show the highness, because that's what has happened in the Vedic period, because Brahmin have showed their highness to the society, and they didn't want to happen in Jainism as well. So they spoke Prakrit language, and he died in 468. Yes, he was born in 540 BC and he died at 468 BC, and he kind of authored 3 novels, 3 Ratna, we call them 3 Ratna, and the 3 of them were Samyak Darshan, which means right faith, Samyak Gyan, right knowledge, and Samyak Acharan means right action. And when it comes to Jainism, there are 5 vows or principles of Jainism. The first 4 are uh, ahimsa, satya. Ahimsa means non-violence, satya means you need to speak truth. Third one is asteya, means no stealing. Fourth one is aparigraha, no possession. These four were given by the Tirthankars preceding Mahavir. Okay, and the fifth vow which Mahavir gave was brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means you need to Gurukul system, we can say. In Gurukul, till the age of 25, there was no. I'm not getting the word. Like till the age of 25, you live in a Gurukul, all boys, and it's kind of building the personality. They used to build personality till 25, and then after that they were allowed to meet girls or marry. Okay, sorry. And these were the 5 principles, and the fifth one was given by Mahavir, and the early 4 were the predecessors of Mahavir. The early 23rd Tirthankar formed those 4 principles, early 4 principles. And later what has happened that Mahavir has created Mahavir, when he has attained that knowledge, okay, so he formed a team of 11 Brahmins which were called Gandhars, and due to some reason 10 of them died, and the last one, Arisudharman, was alive, and he propagated the entire Jainism. And after that, Arisudharman, Jambu came up, Jambu propagated it. Then after that, Prabhava, then Sayambhava, then Sambhutavaya. Sambhutavaya was a contemporary to Dhananand. Contemporary means they belong to the same time period, and Dhananand is also a very great, not a great leader. His father was a great leader, but Dhananand had a power over a great empire during that time. Magadha was like was at its peak. So you will get to know about Dhananand and the Magadha of that time in the coming videos. So just to remember, some Shambhutavaya were of the same time period, and the last one was the Bahadrabahu. Bahadrabahu is the main one, because Bahadrabahu, what happened at that time, because he is a contemporary to Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, so during that time Chandragupta Maurya was also in existence. They were of same time period. So what happened during the propagation, when they were propagating the Jainism, the Bahadrabahu reached to Chandragupta Maurya, and at that time Chandragupta Maurya has just defeated the other 2 his enemies, solicitors. I'm not getting exact name. His name was he was the Greek, Seleucus, Nicator, and Dhananand, which you heard. Dhananand was the contemporary to Shambhutavaya. So he has just defeated Dhananand and Seleucus, Nicator at that time when the Bahadrabahu met him. And Bahadrabahu told him that as you have, because you all know war takes so many lives. Okay, so he told Chandragupta Maurya that you have, because of your war, so many lives have been taken away. So many people have lost their lives, and it was all a bloodshed, complete bloodshed. So what will happen is, as a curse, this entire place will be cursed, and this place is going to face the famine in the coming the next 12 years, something like that. And to that, Chandragupta Maurya also felt kind of regret. Okay, so he had a regret that what he has done, and to that he asked Bahadrabahu to join him to adopt the Jainism, and so he did. But through that, Bahadrabahu told him that, as we all know, that famine will be hit in the next coming years. So why don't we just move to other place? So and following to which they moved to the south of India, Karnataka, and they went to Karnataka. There is a place called Shravan Belagola. It's a hilly area, Shravan Belagola hill. They moved to there. They propagated the Jainism religion there. It's in Karnataka, and that is a place where Chandragupta Maurya took his last breath. After the Chandragupta Maurya was died, the Bahadur Bahu came again back to the Magad area, to the north of India. And at that time, what happened was, when the Chandragupta Maurya and Bahadur Bahu were moving to the south of India, the few of the companions of the Bahadur Bahu were left in the north of India only, in that portion. So when he returned back to the north after Chandragupta Maurya's death, let me tell you, when Chandragupta Maurya and Bahadur Bahu were in the south, what they introduced a new thing was, they knew that in the five principles there is aparigara, no possession. So they also removed their clothes. So they removed their clothes as well, as a practice of non-possession. So they were completely naked. So when he returned back to the north of area, the remaining fellows of the Bahadur Bahu were shocked to see him naked. And because earlier they were wearing clothes, they were wearing white clothes, simple clothes. They were shocked to see him, and they asked him why is he naked. And there were few debates went on, and he told them that the Mahavir Tirthankar gave them the 5 vows, which included no possession as well, and that is what he is practicing, and so did they as well. And to that they strictly refused to remove their clothes, and from that point they went on to follow the two. From there, the Jainism came into two division of the Jainism, and mainly the policies, the principles all are same. The only difference is the first portion, which wears the white clothes, are called Shwetambar, and the main propagator was Sthula Bahu. Sthula Bahu was the person who debated with the Bhadra Bahu. Sthula Bahu, the people who follow Sthula Bahu wear white clothes, okay, and Shwetambar, we call them Shwetambar. Shwet means white, and the person who follow Bhadra Bahu, they are called Digambar. They are completely naked. Okay, so this was all about Jainism, and it is already 22-minute video. Now comes the Buddhism. Buddhism, I'm sure, won't take much time. It's a 6 or 7 minute video, so still it will be 30 minutes. So again, and Jainism and Buddhism were progressing simultaneously. Again, the Buddhism also grew up during 600 BC, and similar to Jainism. BC. And here we won't be discussing about we talked about first Tirthankar, 23rd Tirthankar. Here we don't have any information about whether there were any people before Siddhartha Gautam. We know that the main monk of the Buddhism is the Siddhartha or Gautam. We call him Siddhartha Gautam. So it is assumed that he was the only person who is the founder of Buddhism, and there weren't any Tirthankar kind of people when it comes to Buddhism. So yes, the Siddhartha Gautam, the main monk who founded the Buddhism and propagated it, was born on 563 BC in Nepal, Lumbini place. Lumbini is a place in Nepal. He was born there in 563 BC, and his childhood name was Siddhartha. His other name was Tathagat, and his family name was Gautam. Okay, so that's why we call him Siddhartha Gautam. Siddhartha Gautam. His father name was Sudhodhan. Okay, and his mother name was Mahamaya Devi, and she was from Kaushal Vansh. Kaushal was a different Mahajanpads. So she was from Kaushal Vansh. But during his early childhood days only he lost her mother, and so her foster mother name was Prajapati Gautami. Okay, his wife name was Yashodhara, and Mahavir's wife name was Yashoda, and his Siddhartha Gautam's wife name is Yashodhara. His son name is Rahul, kind of modern names, huh? Rahul, cousin brother was Devdutt. His first teacher was Alara Kalma, but just to remember I say Kalam. And second was Ramput something like, yeah, Rudrak Ramput. Okay, he was his second teacher. Now he renounced or his materiality at the age of 29. Okay, and by the way, he belonged to a very affluent family. They were kind of a king only, so they had good money. His father had a good money. They were kind of king in the early childhood days. Till the time he took the renunciation, he left all the possession. He was living a very lavish lifestyle. He had a very lavish lifestyle, and at the age of 29 he gave up all the material possession. He renounced everything. At the age of 29, his austerity place is Bodh Gaya, which is in Bihar currently, and he sacrificed his home at age 29, and it is also called Mahabhinishkraman. And the austerity duration, the time where he trained himself, is of 6 years. Okay, and the attainment of knowledge, the nirvana, he achieved at the age of 35 years. He left the home at 29, and it took him 6 years to be fully trained, to get that peace, calmness. Okay, and at the age of 35 he achieved that nirvana at Gaya, and to that nirvana he did around 49 days of meditation, and when he completed his 49th day, he achieved that nirvana at the age of 35. 49th day meditation it was. Okay, and he gave his first sermon at Sarnath, which is in Kashi, okay, Varanasi. And he gave his first sermon, and the name of first sermon was Dharma Chakra Pravartan. Okay, Dharma Chakra Pravartan at Sarnath in Varanasi, near Varanasi. And in Sarnath there is a big monastery in Varanasi, and most of his sermons were in it's also in UP, Shravasti. Most sermons were given in Shravasti, and the first one was given at Varanasi in Sarnath. Shravasti is near Gonda in UP. I was searching it in the map, so that's where I found it. And in Sarnath he established a Sangh. Sangh means a group of people, and in Sarnath he established a Sangh, and the first lady to join the Sangh was her foster mother, Prajapati Gautami. Okay, and there are five symbols of Lord Buddha. Okay, Lord Buddha, they define Lord Buddha, his life process, and these are like, the first one is birth, the departure, okay, when he renounced everything, and nirvana, enlightenment, first sermon, and death. So birth is displayed with the lotus, and elephant is also used, and bull is also used, but the prominent is the lotus. After that, the departure, horse symbolizes the departure, and enlightenment, which we call nirvana, is determined by the Bodhi tree under which he did all his meditation. Okay, Bodhi tree, and first sermon is described by the noble path. Sorry, Dharma Chakra Pravartan is displayed by a noble path or a wheel. It's a wheel with 8 crosses. Okay, and the fifth one is the death. Death is showcased with stupa or footprint, and it is called parinirvana when you leave the body. And he was born at 563 BC, right, and he died at 483 BC in Kushinagar, Uttar Pradesh. He mainly spent his entire life in Uttar Pradesh only. Kushinagar, Uttar Pradesh, we call Uttar Pradesh in the current time. Earlier there wasn't any Uttar Pradesh or something. There wasn't even India at that time. That's why we call it Hindu Rashtra. Bharatvansh, sorry. So Bharatvansh consists of entire Indian region, Bangladesh, Nepal, these small areas, Bhutan and Afghanistan, Pakistan, every place, everything. So he died at Kushinagar in 483 BC, which is in Uttar Pradesh, and he has given eightfold paths, which he expects the person who are the follower of Buddhism to follow these. Okay, so it means the person who are following these are considered to be part of Buddhism, and these are just like we had in Jainism. And in Jainism, the Mahavir, Vardhaman Mahavir gave he wrote a book called Three Ratna, right? So Three Ratna means three novels, which were Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan and Samyak Acharan. So similar to that, Lord Buddha gave 8 paths, which are called Samyak Drishti, which means right understanding. Samyak Sankalp means right resolution, right resolve. Okay, Samyak Drishti means right understanding. Samyak Sankalp means right resolution. Samyak Vani means right speech. Samyak Karma means right action. Samyak Ajiv, living, how you make your living. It should be honest, okay, from honest sources, legal. So 5th one was Samyak Ajiv, means right living. 6th one is Samyak Vyayam, right efforts. 7th is Samyak Smriti. Smriti means mindfulness, thought. Okay, watch your thoughts. So Samyak Smriti means right mindfulness or thoughts. And the 8th one is, it's 11. And the 8th one is Samyak Samadhi. Samyak Samadhi means right self-concentration. Okay, so these 8 were the paths which were given by Lord Buddha. These were Samyak Drishti, Samyak Sankalp, Samyak Vani, Samyak Acharan, Samyak Ajiv, Samyak Vyayam, Samyak Smriti means mindfulness, and Samyak Samadhi, concentration, self-concentration. This was pretty much all about Buddhism, and there were 6 Buddhist councils which were held. These were like main meetings where certain changes were made, if anything need to be added or whatever new decisions were to be taken, were all taken in these councils only. And till now 6 Buddhist councils I have held, and since like BC till now, in the current period. In the last Buddhist council, I am not sure, it took place in, I think, in the 20th or 21st, in the 20th century only, last year. So yes, the last Buddhist council, the 6th one held in the last century, 20th century. It wouldn't have like maybe, I'm not sure, but it isn't that in the past, long in the past. So yes, till now 6 Buddhist councils I have held. So this was all about the Mahajanpads, Buddhism and Jainism. I hope you like this video, and in the next video, maybe tomorrow in the morning, I'll prepare for the pre-Mauryan period. I'll cover pre-Mauryan there, and let's see whether I cover it in the one video only or maybe in 2, but it seems like I'll have to make 2 videos for that because content is large, as I already said. So yes, I hope you like this video, you find it helpful, because in this video there was a lot of knowledge, there was a lot of content and factual knowledge, you can say. I hope you liked the whatever history was, ancient history, and let's sum it up tomorrow, the entire ancient history part. Thank you for watching, and thank you for bearing with me and being a part of this knowledge sessions. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, good night. See you soon tomorrow morning. Bye.